This is the blank one. On each blank template at the very end, there's an example that we're talking about on the last two slides.
Okay, so what this was is, you know, once again, there's really important elements of it. There's essentially 6 elements that you're working on with the students, which works out pretty well because if you're working with 6 to 8 students, you can also assign this if you want to. Okay, you work on this part, you work on this part. And the way we set these slides up, they can actually be working on these individually, and then eventually you can pull them all together and you cut and paste into this final slide, and you can do this. So they don't have to be working on the same single slide the whole time. You black it out. So once again, it's very similar to a lot of the things we've done in this class, as well as what you already did with the presentation poster, right? So they've come up with an idea. You work this out with them. They've all decided that we're going to work on one project with your group of 6 to 8 kids. This one was playgrounds. So this is actually up here at Newark Elementary School. They decided that they wanted to have more inclusive playgrounds. So they came up with a title for this. First thing is you have to identify what the problem is, right? It's kind of what you guys have been doing on your connections essays. So here's what they did. They actually found, you know, pictures as well. You can actually put little bubbles in there too if you want to. We've seen a couple groups do that as well. So they have, you know, identify the problem. Let them do this. We're not worried as much about grammar and this kind of stuff, right? Let them talk about this. Then not only what the problem is, but also why is it important to fix this problem, to try and fix this problem. So they should be able to identify.
Sorry.
Okay. They should be able to identify, you know, why this is important to fix this problem. So here's an example. It's probably a little wordier than a lot of the students would do. But, you know, essentially it was very simple. They felt exercise is important. Everybody should have the opportunity to play on that playground. So the next thing is, why is there a problem? So, and it could be things like, you know, well, it seems like nobody seemed to ever think about this in the first place. Or maybe the money isn't going to playgrounds, it's going to something else. It's kind of like here at UD, right, where all the money is going to the Star Campus and not going to dorms, right? But that's a different thing. So, or, you know, so maybe they forgot these things, right? And then the next step is fix the problem. So how are we going to fix this problem? Well, you know, you're going to have to figure out what kind of playground equipment would work here. What are there other schools that actually have done this? Maybe you can get some ideas from them. Talk to the teachers and parents. You might have to raise money for this. So there has to be some real ideas about how to fix this problem. Not that there's a problem, complain about it. What could you do to fix this? And actually 4th and 8th graders, especially 4th graders, are really good about that part. They have ideas on how to fix it. So, and then finally, who can help? And this is also an important one too, is because sometimes they have to think about, well, I can't do this by myself. We don't have money. We don't have this and all this. And I've seen some of the ideas that the students have had in the schools. You know, if they want to clean up litter, pick up trash, they say, well, we don't have enough trash cans. Where do you get the trash cans? Kids figure out they were going to go ask Home Depot. It's a great idea. They probably donate them, right? And so those kinds of things that the kids can come up with that they might not even realize it until they started talking about this in a group, started kind of brainstorming to come up with this too. So this was like nonprofits, state representatives. You could actually ask university specialists, this, right? So let's show them, and once again, they embed videos, they do this kind of stuff. Students can do this. So show them the other one that was done in Sunnyside, 4th graders. So this one was done by Sunnyside Elementary School, right? What's the problem? And you know, you can tell this one definitely is a 4th grade language on this, right? So you know, they're worried about animals, they're worried about the environment, but they're also worried about homes too. Very straightforward, right to the point, right? And then why is it important to fix this problem, right? Once again, it's animals, all about animals and oxygen too, which is really cool. You know, why does this problem exist? You know, because of resources. Very true, right? It's just very succinct to the point. They kind of get it. And so, how are we going to fix this problem? They want to get the government involved. You know, boycott paper products. I thought was pretty interesting. And then also, you know, like who can help? And I love this one, the government and hunters, because they need somewhere to hunt and regular people in general. Great thing, right? Because I've seen that. I saw this, and it wasn't even this group. That you know, they had this discussion with a couple of the kids were hunters, and they were talking about Middletown was booming too much. There was no place to go have any kind of recreational resources and this sort of thing. And one of the kid who does hunting, he was saying, yeah, I can't hunt anymore. You know, I'm no environmentalist, but you know, I need a place to go do that too. And they actually talked this out and came up with some ideas too. So and neither of them canceled each other out. Amazing. So there you go. And so they worked on this and came up with this problem. So this is fourth graders doing this, and they found that film too. I was actually there when they were looking for this. So it's all possible, and so you can help them with this. But once again, you're not creating this. This is something that they are doing. So Angie has instructions on how to cut and paste and do this sort of thing. Very similar to the poster that you've already done. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted you to all work on those posters instead of just one person or two people doing it too.
So you open up the blank template, and then the second slide starts the title. So you can put your title here. You can assign people to work on the title, and then you would copy and paste that onto the first slide when you've all finished with the slides. Here's the what is the problem section. They can add their names here so you can keep it straight who's working on what. You don't have to. They can type in here. You can change colors and everything like you did on your other presentations. And you can maybe change the sizes of the boxes a bit and add elements just like you did on your other presentation.
And these students are very adept on their iPads, so don't worry about that.
And they'll find
more
videos.
adept than we are probably on some of these iPads.
And if they're finding videos, if they can see them in class in their school, it means that the firewall is not blocking them. So they're welcome to use any videos that they can find. So that's one nice thing. And then you just move through the slides. You assign a couple people one of the sections, and they can work on that slide. But when you're all done, you need to make sure all those elements are copied and pasted on the first slide, and that they all work. And then there's just a little bit of sharing issues that you have to make sure the teacher shares the blank slide with each student's group, with one group with their students.
So if you're a group of 6 students, then you have to make sure the teacher shares your slide, the blank slide, with all 6 students so they can work on this individually. Yeah,
they'll have their own iPads and Chromebooks and things. And so you don't use your laptop, you use theirs and walk around and help them. And then you can maybe choose one of the ones to share back with us, the finished one. So they all might be working on little bits on their individual computers, but then you'll want one slide that is the final slide. And you'll name that and make sure you include your first and last name in that name of the slide. And the teacher will make sure it's shared back to your Google Drive, be it Apple Google Drive or Sunnyside UD Drive. That's a little bit of a trickier issue, but the teacher will take care of that.
Right. They've been doing this. This is their 3rd year doing it, so they have a good sense of what they're doing with that too. So this is really something you start working on your 2nd visit. So and you may or may not even get to this on your 2nd visit. It depends on how quickly that you guys have all decided on what you're going to do. You may have them starting to work on this in the 2nd visit, or maybe just jotting down ideas. Maybe they're doing some research first. But if you want to go ahead and start on this on your 2nd visit, you can. But once again, just don't rush it too much, right? Make sure that they develop their ideas and they all agree on which one that they're going to be doing too. And it could take some compromising and things as well too. So once you do that, and then the 3rd visit is just pulling this all together, getting it all together, and kind of getting the finished product together as well. And that's essentially what you're going to be doing now.
Do you have any questions about any of the feedback or the posters?
How